Alrighty, so now we're on to the next video. What we're going to do is we are going to find the Lab 3B RAPS conclusion assignment on Schoology. So what you're going to want to do is to find Unit 2, Scientific Process and Graphing on Schoology. And near the bottom of that folder, you're going to find the assignment Lab 3B RAPS conclusion. So again, starting from Schoology, click on Unit 2, Scientific Process and Graphing, and scroll to the bottom of what we have so far and go ahead and find that assignment right here. What you're going to find is this is a Google Doc linked assignment. What this looks like is this. So to start, you have a few leading questions. You're going to make up some data based on the design your own experiment. You're going to create a graph, and then we'll eventually get to that RAPS conclusion. In this video here, my job is to walk you through those first 3 things in this assignment. So, first things first is to answer the questions. And if you need a little bit of a reminder of what those questions are, or maybe what's a control, what's an independent or dependent variable, we have a reminder of the definitions of each of those on this slide. So go ahead and review that and identify what those variables are for your experiment. Pause the video now and come back when you're ready to move on to step 2. All right, step 2. Earlier this week, I had you create a design your own experiment assignment. And I asked you to think of an assignment that had quantifiable data. And the reason why is not necessarily because we were going to collect data and actually do this experiment, but I wanted you to be able to use it for this activity today. So what you're going to be doing is think about your experiment, right? You probably have an idea of what you would expect to happen based on the experiment that you set up. And I want you to make up some data about it. So you'll remember from my experiment, I was talking about ski jump ramp height and what was the height of the jump. So I'm going to go ahead, take a second, and fill that in right now. Alrighty, so I filled in my data table with some made-up data. I have some ramp angles, 0-degree angles, and going up by 10 each time. And then I have my jump height. Now, a quick edit that I just made through the magic of technology and screencasting. I've gone through and I put my units up top here, and all I have in here is the numbers. The reason why I'm doing this is going to make part 3 much easier when I put this into a Google Sheet. So, you'll remember from yesterday making a graph using Google Sheets, and hopefully you found this a lot easier than having to do it by hand. And we're going to practice making those Google Sheets again. So I'm going to have you take a second, put your data into a Google Sheets, and create a graph. If you need a reminder on how to use Google Sheets to create a graph, go ahead and take a look at the materials posted from yesterday, Thursday's class, and see what you can see what jogs your memory so you can create that graph. Go ahead and pause while you create your graph. All right, so we've unpaused and we've created our graph. Once you've created your graph, make sure to paste it in the space below of your assignment here. So as you can see, I made up some data about my experiment. Kind of goes along with what I would expect, and now I've actually visualized that data into a graph. That wraps up questions 1, 2, and 3. Next, we're going to start talking about what is a RAPS conclusion and how do we create one.